Alright guys, this is my third video. I'd be lying if I told you it was my second one because I didn't have my battery hooked up. Anyways, this is the F-16 from Freewing, got off of Motion RC. It originally had two Y cords, one for the ailerons and one for the elevator. So that would be, the four servos, one each elevator, one each, but then they're wide together. And then you have the way it had before is it didn't have a servo in the rudder. I did that myself because there was a stupid a rod that went down the middle that would get stuck when you tried to glue it here. It was a pain in the ass. So anyway, so we got 8 servos total, and I only put one Y on this. That's the rudder servo here, and then I got the nose with steering servo there, so it's just, a Y cord connected in the front for that. The rest of the servos, each wing, each stab, or stabulator, whatever you want to call them, and each servo for your thrust vectoring, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 servos that are all separated by a channel, okay? Well, originally I had it not quite, I had, like I said, I had two Y cords setting up, but I wanted lots of maneuvers here, so I wanted a lot of versatility. So anyways, this took me 6 nights to figure out and 5 program mixes on a Wakira 2801 Pro. Okay, I don't know if you can see that in the video. And then of course I have the receiver, the 8-channel receiver inside. It's a great radio. The manual really sucks. It's in like translated English, probably from Chinese, I don't know. It's mainly geared towards helicopters. Even though this is a helicopter and an aircraft radio, it's definitely geared towards helicopters, which Wakira I think is anyway. But anyways, I like the radio. It's never done me wrong. It's always been a great radio. I've had it for a while. But let's talk in more action here. All right. So that, as I was saying earlier, I guess I wanted more maneuverability here, right? I mean, the scale model F-16, as everybody knows, it moves like this. That's what they call elevons, which is a delta setup, which I have to do on the radio. And as you see, the ailerons do not move, which, you're thinking to yourself, well, why would you want that? Well, I mean, you really don't want that, but I wanted it because it worked for what I wanted to do. So here we go. The original setup I had, I didn't have this feature to where I would hit my aileron dual rate switch, which tones it down to 50%. If I go to 100%, see it move? See, I wanted that in the air, and I also wanted the elevator's dual rate switch to calm down as well, see? And the way I had it set up before would only move, when I had it before, which wasn't delta mix here, it was a elevon mix, which means if you don't wire these together, you're going to have to do a hard mix. Like this is my elevator servo, and let's say this was AUX 2. You have to do a hard mix from this guy to this guy. Well, that's great. They would move together, no problem. But the only thing is when you try to trim it, only one would move. And that's just a feature of the radio. And I didn't want that, so if you're flying along and you're nose down and you want to go nose up, you start trying to trim something, and only that one servo is going to move, you're going to start doing a nasty right roll all of a sudden. Not all of a sudden, but it's going to start to, the more you trim it, the more it will start rolling. And everybody knows when you trim, you don't want that to happen. You want to do what it's supposed to do. So that was, I actually discovered that on the ground. I would have got it in the air and I would have done it, and I probably would have crashed. This is my third one I've actually had of this type, because they're very sensitive aircraft. And man, oh man, I don't want to crash number 3. I really like this plane. It flies really fast. It's really cool in the air, and it's a nice aircraft. Everything's stock on this plane except for obviously all the stuff I'm setting up here. And of course, my mod with the tail rotor there, tail rotor servo. So anyways, so I wanted that feature. So if something goes wrong, I'm like, hey, this is too much. I can just flip switches, I can calm down my ailerons, I can calm down my elevators, right? So we're going from 100% to 50%, alright? So now you ask yourself, well, what about maneuvers? You know, it's not maneuvering enough and this just isn't doing it for you. We can flip on my ailerons. And I got my ailerons hard set to 50%. Unfortunately, I can't change that in the air, but I'm telling you what right now, with this setup right here, with 100%, that's going to be plenty. But this gives me a little bit more versatility. I can say, okay, I don't really want to miss my dual rates, but I want a little bit more turning. I can flip on these guys here. So now I got this going on, okay? So if I want 100% tail and 50% wing, I got it, okay? So that's basically 3 different features for turning the aircraft, for rolling the aircraft. And this, trust me, this plane, I flew this plane actually Saturday morning, and I was flying in a different configuration where I just had ailerons moving at 50% by themselves, and the tail actually wasn't moving like this, like you see it, and it was just normal up and down, and this thing still turned like crazy. So, you know, just hypothetically, if you want to do some maneuvers, maybe you're doing some slow flying, whatever, and you want that full deflection in your tail, 50% deflection on your wings, that's good to go. Okay, so now you're flying around and you're like, hey, and I forgot to show you on there, it's this gear switch right here. This turns, the way I have it set up is flip the gear down, that gives me the wing, flip it back up, that's just the tail. Alright, I always have, the tail is always locked in like that. I can't make it just conventional and just use the wings, so, because it's a Delta setup. Which is fine with me, I like Delta, I own a Mirage too, so. Alright. So now you're in this position, like I said, with these moving here. Let's say you want a little bit more turning radius. Now I say turning radius, I'm not talking about rolling the aircraft. I mean when you turn an aircraft, like really turn it, and you pull back on the stick, that's going to turn you and swing you around, okay? So if I want even more turning radius than I already have, with these up like this, I can flip my mix switch here, and bam, that gives me 100% deflection of those ailerons up and down, see? Now the cool thing is if I want only 50% on my tail and on my wings, the dual rate switch, the elevator dual rate, actually controls that too. See that? Pretty neat. I thought that was a neat feature. I just discovered that. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And what that does is that mixes your elevator and your flaps together. Now, AUX 1 is flap, and AUX 2 is on my wings. So I just have those hard programmed together. Whatever AUX 1 is doing, AUX 2 is going to follow. So that's what that does. And then if we really want to get crazy, we can go ahead and flip on our thrust vectoring feature. See that? The thrust vectoring is going to move our elevators, with our elevators up and down, and also with the rudder. Now I have it set only 50% rudder because I know how crazy rudder thrust vectoring can get, but I can change it if I want to. But I could switch all this other crazy nothingness off and still keep thrust vectoring on by itself with the tail if I wanted to. So, but I hope you enjoyed this quick video. If you want to know how I set all this up after you watch my video, just comment below. I usually don't do this sort of thing with comments and subscribe and all that crap. I'm just here trying to, share the knowledge as best I can. I don't need any subscribers to do that. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment and I'll try to answer the best I can. Thanks. Happy flying and